My name is Joe Daymond. I'm a comedian, writer, director, and content creator from Aotearoa, New Zealand.
We're getting straight into it now.
Have you always felt connected or wanting to support the culture?
One thing that's embarrassing to admit, but when I was younger, bro, I used to tick NZ European on my identity. One of the most horrible things I think you could do to someone to strip them of their identity. We're the best, and we've done the most with the least amount of money.
Yeah.
Trust me. I've never said this on camera. I remember calling my mama afterwards, and I was like, Mama, I can't do this. But I actually just stopped turning up. Stand up was the complete opposite of that. And that felt like a gift, bro. That was like, holy shit, like I feel like I'm allowed here. My life ain't shit right now, so what have I got to lose?
Bro.
Stand up was one of them. Changed my life forever, bro.
As a young, broke, brown kid doing my best, I wasn't accepted. Joe Daymond, welcome to the show, brother.
Fuck, we ain't even started.
We've probably just chopped it up for about over half an hour,
straight up, eh? Sorry, bros.
No,
I'm the worst like that, dude.
No, brother. I love it, dude. I don't even know where time's gone. That's beautiful.
That's funny. We're on not opposite ends, but basically because I'm spontaneous, loose, but like way too much.
Yeah.
Trying to be a bit more methodical in my life, a bit more organization.
Wow.
I'm in that transition now.
Yeah, bro.
So that's crack up that you're on the other end.
Oh my God.
Trying to be more. Bro, it's mean.
Wow.
Bro, honestly, dude.
Gee, that's monikers.
It's sick that you're doing it, bro, because it's unreal. The only reason I'm implementing it is because for me, I now I never had goals that were time sensitive. Whereas now I kind of do.
Yeah.
So I'm wanting to like bring process and stuff into my life a bit more.
Yeah, wow, brother.
And that's kind of the only reason. But before then, bro, I was just I was never cruisy in the sense that like, just whatever.
Yeah,
I always had direction.
Absolutely.
But how I got there, I was pretty loose.
Flowed with that direction.
Yeah. Which is mean, but then also when you're kind of too much of that.
It's like finding the balance,
bro.
Like it's tough though, eh?
Bro, so I'm in the middle of that right now. But that's interesting you bring up the Bali thing because I'm real passionate about like entrepreneurship and I don't know, it sounds real cheesy to say, but I used to love like watching like documentaries about like tech entrepreneur and like startups and stuff back in the day when I was younger.
Yeah.
And more people have been telling me about what the culture is like in Bali with that.
Yeah.
Apparently it's crazy.
It is, bro. That's what I mean. Everyone, bro, is out there like
buzzing,
trying something, doing something like consultant calls, sales calls. Everyone's like, and I'm like, we're used to New Zealand. I'm used to like,
what are you going today? No, chilling. Fuck Which I love about us.
Yeah, absolutely. It wouldn't change the world, but it was different. And I just loved it. I fed off it. I was like, man, okay. And bro, this is the buzzy thing as well about Bali. I was operating on a frequency, bro. I got off the plane, bro, and I was just like I'm a people person. I love people, but I was like operating up here, bro. And things were happening. Like these are the reasons why these podcasts, I ended up meeting these people and got to shoot a podcast was because I was just like, so, bro, this person, heaps of Kiwis, and I was training at a gym called Soma Fight Club. And one of the podcasts was with Mike Ikele, and he's the owner. Bro, he's a Polynesian fella from East Auckland.
True.
And there's so many Kiwis in their gym, but I was just like, met this person. Lance Savili was there.
Was he?
Yeah, but at the same time,
bro. Don't ever follow that guy anywhere, brother. You'll get into more trouble you've ever been in. Bro, that's crazy, yeah.
It was, bro, it was. But yeah, I had never in my life operated like this. And that's another reason why I think I loved it so much. It's because I was like, I enjoyed
I know what you mean, bro.
You know what I mean? Like I was feeling good.
It's like I can't really describe it, but like you get on this, because I feel what you're talking about whenever I go to America, you almost tap into like a different like frequency within yourself. The only way I can describe it is I feel like a different level of confidence that I don't feel so much as here.
Wow.
And one point I've been trying to make is like, I don't fault home for not bringing that out of me, but it's, it's not better, it's just different.
Yeah.
But I find when I go to America, like it just, because everyone is on their energy, it just kind of brings it out of you.
Absolutely.
And you find like you're able to just walk up and talk to people in ways that you could never have the confidence to do back home.
That's it, G.
And it's crazy.
Yeah. And why do you think that is? Do you think it is because of the tall poppy here? You care about what people may think about you here, which is why it limits you to go up to that person and just be like, yo, bro, what's good? Like,
I reckon the big thing, bro, is like, I think at a base level, I don't necessarily think it's the tall poppy element that stops us. I think generally as Kiwis, we're just quite closed off.
Yeah.
And not in a bad way, but I think we're just reserved. You know, we're pretty to ourselves. We don't want to, Kiwi big thing, the big thing for us, especially brown, we don't want to be a burden.
Yeah.
And we carry that with us constantly everywhere you go, which in a way is actually beautiful because, you know, we're respectful in spaces. You know, we're quiet when we're in a new place.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to cause anyone too much bother.
Yo.
But then where that is also like detrimental to us as a community is because we're trying to do that, we seem closed off.
Yeah.
The person on the other side receiving that isn't receiving that as, oh, they're just trying to be respectful.
Yo.
They're receiving it as, oh, they don't want to talk. So we just don't.
Yeah.
And because we're all on that, we all just think the other person doesn't want to talk.
Yeah,
But then you go to America, bro, or you go to Bali and no one gives a f***. They're all just like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, what are you doing right now?
Yo. Yeah. And then you end up meeting this person and, come here, my bro. And it's a flow on effect.
It's crazy,
you know?
eh? But you feel like a different kind of energy when you come back from it too, eh?
That's it, cuz. And I was like, man, how do I bring this version of Zach, which sounds buzzy, but how do I bring that when I come back home?
Do you feel like you've been able to, because...
I'll tell you the truth, G.
Oh, yo.
I got back home, bro. Day one, bro, get back home, cuz I got hit with some Bali belly virus on my last day. Cuz I get home, I'm in bed for 2 days.
Didn't talk to anyone for 2 days. Sounds very Kiwi, bro.
Bro, I'm bloody vomiting, I'm shitting, I had everything, cuz it was ruthless.
So it's Bali belly.
Bali, I don't know what it was. I was some type of virus. Could have been from the plane, could have been the last meal I had at the airport. It was literally like 2 full days in bed. It was crazy.
I'm not gonna lie, like that is honestly one of the things that's put me off of Bali. Eh?
Yeah,
because the Bali, like the whole idea of Bali belly, that sounds.
Gee, it's like,
as if I've never had a sore stomach, but I don't know. That one sounds different, right?
And it's like 80% of foreigners or, you know, anyone that comes into the place gets it. Like it's, you'll be lucky if you don't get it.
That is crazy, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Like
it got me on the last day. But yeah, it's kind of buzzy because I was like I said, when I come home, I'm going to vibrate. You guys are going to feel me. Come home. Ooh, you're not seeing me.
Bro, that's crack up, man.
Yo, gee.
Who was the most interesting person that you met over there? All people. Like, who were some people that you met?
Yeah, bro. Most interesting.
Or what do they do that you found like real interesting or buzzy?
Yeah, honestly, bro, I would say it would be some of the locals, bro.
True.
It would be some of the locals, like you meet, and Bali people are beautiful.
Yeah.
Like the Balinese people, they're honestly like some of the nicest people in the world. Like they are,
true.
they're sort of like that cliche where they don't actually have a lot, and they're not really like, bro. You go on a Gojek, it's called Gojek. It's like our version of Uber, and it's like, but you're on moped scooters, and bro, they pick you up. They obviously can see that you're not Balinese, and so, where are you from, brother? And then, you know, I'm from New Zealand. Oh, and then you end up. So, bro, I would say, and it would be all those individuals that I met, and then you're chopping it up with them on the back of their scooter for like 10, 20 minutes trying to get to your next place, and you're just literally just having a cordial with them, bro. You know, they're the most interesting in my opinion.
Asian hospitality is different, bro.
Brother,
because is that the only place in Asia you've been? Bali?
Yes, I went to Thailand when I was about 16 with my whano, but
oh, true.
It was a little bit different. This is like my first time really like soaking it in. And
yeah, no, they're different, bro. Because I grew up there, dude.
Where?
I grew up in Malaysia.
No way.
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
So I grew up in Malaysia and then India.
What?
Yeah, bro, all up like 6 years.
Wow.
Pretty buzzy, yeah. Indos they're like next level.
Yeah.
Hospitable. Because they're kind of like, but they're like islanders.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and but yeah, they're all unreal, bro. Like I remember I used to we'd go down to this Indonesian place in Malaysia, and the people would walk in and they'd be like, "Hey, kia ora." Yeah, bro. Yeah. They just do stuff like that, bro. They'll like learn about you. They'll learn about like the little, which I always found was like a real harder Moldy thing. Like whakawhanaungatanga, they really embrace it. They'll find out like one little thing about your culture and just like go hard on that. And it might be the only thing.
Yeah.
But they want to like bring that too. But I guess it's because, you know, so many of these cultures, you know, so many of their family and stuff, they move away or move around. Like embracing the different parts of their culture is kind of part of how they communicate, part of their, just as much a part of their culture.
Yeah, bro.
Which I think is such a beautiful thing. And I reckon, this is probably quite controversial to say, I think we don't incorporate, and I'll say that as a Māori and a Fijian, we don't incorporate as much that sort of like flexibility that a lot of them do.
Yeah, bro.
So
openness, eh?
I reckon, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I reckon we're getting straight into it now.
Yeah, cuz
I reckon a real interesting thing with I've found like with Moldy, and this probably comes with colonization, and this definitely would come with colonization and preserving our culture, which is something I'm so passionate about. But then I think we also alienate our own, and so many of our own talk about that alienation.
Wow. Because
I think there's so many elements that we, you know, we pick at and we're very like strong on. That is us trying to protect it, but at the same time, it kind of gives us this feeling that we can't really have any flexibility in it too.
It limits things as well, right?
Limits things, and it makes it really hard to adopt because you're like, oh damn, I got to be perfect before I can embrace this.
Wow.
So like, however long that's going to take me. And then that's why most of us are just like, well, no, I shouldn't say most of us, but that's why a lot of people are just like, you know what? I got so much shit going on in my life. I'll start that journey another time because there's so much I have to do.
Oh my God.
And I guess my, where my perspective on like my, you know, relationship with being Māori is always coming in from like any part of you.
Yeah.
Just come in as you are.
Yeah.
And start your journey.
Yeah, brother.
So I find like growing up in Asia and Asian culture, different Asian cultures, especially Malaysia, especially India, and I grew up around a lot of like Thai people in particular. You know, they're so generous and open with their culture. Not saying that we are, I guess, just in a different way to what I'm
Absolutely, brother. Well, I actually want to go there because I did see in your video that you posted on YouTube in regards to the hiko and stuff.
Oh,
and
true.
That you were very vocal about it. And bro, actually, there was a few things that I took away from him. And if anyone hasn't tuned in, go tune into the bros. YouTube. Nah, bro, there was a few things. For one, it was your gift of storytelling, bro. You can tell the bro's been in the game. Do you edit your own stuff?
Nah.
No, yeah.
Oh, like here and there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bro.
So one of my bros, like so I'll do like a sort of general little, cause I can edit.
Yeah.
So I've always been like real professional in Premiere Pro.
Yeah.
So I'll do like a little bass one and then he'll come in, switch a few things around, like add all the beats.
Oh my God.
But I'll give him like a script and then like a little bass edit.
Yeah, bro. You can tell, like I was like, Father, I got a lot of learning to do. Like in regards to the actual video, like it's more than just a video, bro. And like,
appreciate that, bro.
Nah, bro, it's beautiful. And not, the cope-up was beautiful as well, what you were doing. And then the second thing that I took away was your personal, I guess, your growth, your love for Māori culture as well.
Yeah.
And I sort of wanted to tap into this a little bit because
bro.
Nah, you quoted as well. You were like, I'm proud to be Māori. I'm proud to be Fijian. I'm proud to be me.
Yo.
And I love that, bro.
Bro.
You should be proud of yourself. But have you always felt like that? Have you always felt connected or this sort of like wanting to support the culture, I guess?
Nah, bro. Like, one thing that's embarrassing to admit, but when I was younger, bro, I used to tick NZ European on my identity thing.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel Moldy, I didn't feel Fijian. So I was like, well, what's the only other thing? I guess I feel like New Zealand, I guess. And I didn't feel that either, but I felt closer to that than the other two. So, and that was purely like out of shame for myself, not anything to do with like shame for my culture. But that was how far I felt from it, bro. What about you? Like, what's your relationship with it?
Yeah, brother, very...
Because you seem hearty off the bat.
I have a lot of shame too, but I'm...
True.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel very privileged with what I know and what has been, I guess, what I've been through with the I did kapak at an early age throughout all my sort of schooling years, which has been, that's forever with me, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Where you whakapapa to?
Taranaki. Ngāti Ronui.
Te Aotearoa, bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
Probably cousins.
No, I whakapapa to Waikato Marae and Manaia.
Wow.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, because see, but the thing that I'm talking about with the shame and like the similarities that I can relate to you a lot is because, well, bro, I haven't been in a long time to Mount Taranaki.
Oh, neither.
To Wainungoro.
Oh.
And it always like plays on my mind, to be honest. Like,
I feel that.
Yeah, and there'll be a lot of people, bro, that'll be very, very similar waka to us.
I feel that, bro.
So to answer your question, I'm very, very grateful with what I know and the people that I know that are Māori that have taught me. Like one of my Uncle Allen's has taught me so much in regards to tikanga. Jakey, my brother you just met, bro, he went to Kohanga. He used to speak fluently. Bro, he was a fluent speaker.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah.
Nah,
but you do talk to him now, bro.
Yeah, I do.
Hey, g'day, mate. You know? Like the rush.
Hey, he's on survival mode, brother. Yeah. He's on survival mode. We're all going to do it, bro. We're all going to throw a gift for you g'days. That's how we get jobs.
But nonetheless, bro, always very, very proud.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
Still very, very proud.
Yeah.
As you said, there's so much, and even people that are fluent speakers, there's still so much for them to learn. It's a forever journey. And I do know that there is so much that I want to learn and want to discover. And it's more of a matter of like just pulling the plug.
For sure, bro.
And then there's those limits that you were talking about before, where you're like, man, when is that time? When is that?
Totally,
What
bro.
am I going to put before that? Or, you know, when am I going to prioritize that?
Yeah.
How about you?
Oh, bro, you know, like, I think the revitalization of Te Reo has been, you know, a beautiful thing. I think there's elements of it that, like, you know, I probably disagree with too, but that's not the convo we're having. The main thing, I guess, for me is that I think because, you know, I don't call it all Te Reo. Got cousins that do. And I think some of the real interesting convos, I think for non-speakers, we often associate our journey with being able to speak as like where we are. But then I've spoken to my cousins that do speak, being in the same spot. And I think we forget that it's not just a thing about our language. It's our identity, it's our culture. And that's so much more than just what we hear and what we see.
Absolutely, brother.
And my relationship with it has actually started to change like the more time I've spent overseas, which is buzzy.
Yeah, wow.
One culture that like I would hate to describe it as like envy or like look up to. I love, and I've always loved it growing up, but then as I've been able to spend more time in America, I love Black American culture, bro. As I think a lot of us like Moldy and Islanders do. We love it. And, you know, I think they went, everybody knows what they went through. And I think, you know, with Jim Crow stripping basically everything that Black people had, you know, slavery. You know, one of the most horrible things I think you can do to someone is strip them of their identity. We understand that so wholeheartedly. And they went through that in even crazier ways. But I think one of the beautiful things that I've seen within Black culture that has come out of that is their version of culture, or how they seem to view it, is a lot more fluid and is less about, it's obviously inclusive of history and pays homage to their history, but they include part of their culture, things that they create today.
Yeah, wow.
You know?
Yeah,
like Black music is like, is rap, it's, you know, it's country, it's, you know, it's all these things that they went there back in the day. These are things that they've embraced, that they've taken on, that they've redefined for themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that whole part of the culture that they encompass, I believe, is so beautiful because they continue to like bring it into the world today and let it grow and let it prosper. And I'm not saying that Māori or Fijians or, you know, Islanders in general don't do that, but I think we don't make the distinction as much between like tradition and history and culture.
Yeah.
Like, I think tradition is so important to who you are. And we absolutely have to continue to pay homage to that. But that isn't our entire culture. Culture can be created, culture can be cultivated, grown. And that's why I speak so passionately, I guess, from both perspectives of like, maybe I don't represent what we used to be, and even in ways what we want to be now. So my only thing that I know, to be honest, regardless of how much education I do, I only know me. And I just hope that I could bring some kind of version to our culture that's something new that other generations after us can grow and make better. I'm going to be imperfect and I'm going to things up, but I'll give that best example that I can for the next generation to then come in and be like, actually, you know what? This little bit here, let's dive in right there, make it even better.
Wow.
So that's all I can hope for myself and how I sit within both being a Moldy and a Fijian.
Wow, that's beautiful, brother. Do you feel like you being Māori and Fijian, you being cultured, do you feel like that has helped or contributed to your success as an artist?
Oh, bro, for sure. Like, I think I've been blessed with, two perspectives that are so different from one another, but are so rich. And that's why that's why before I was trying to make sure I said it correctly. I don't want to make it as if things, need to be better. Like, I love the history and the traditions of our people. I love everything about us as it stands, So I would never ever discredit that. But I guess like the beauty in, building my own relationship with the both of them has then meant that I also get to understand what it means to be an outsider from each one as well. Yeah, and then that's been what's allowed me to draw from these perspectives. Because I can look at being Moldy as a Moldy, but also being Moldy as a Fijian.
Yeah, wow.
And then vice versa, being Fijian as a Moldy, seeing like the funny sides of both.
Oh my God.
But then understanding like the nuances and what those mean. And I think it even comes out in my comedy. And I think like I probably get a lot of shit from a lot of older generations in both, because I tend to talk about probably more like not the glossier side of both sides. Because it's stuff that it's very like in the culture, in the know sort of stuff. Yeah. But that 100%, like I think if I didn't have that, bro, I wouldn't really have anything, to be honest. I don't really know what the hell I talk about.
Yeah.
So I view that as a massive, bro, like the biggest privilege. Without it, not only would I not have a career, more importantly, I wouldn't have a passion. I wouldn't have a direction. So, bro, I thank myself, I thank my like whānau and I thank my people every day for giving me that opportunity, It's couldn't ask for anything better, bro.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Well, with what you do, with what we do, we tell stories.
Straight up.
And bro, in my non-biased opinion, I truly believe this as well. I think Māoris and Polynesians
I agree, bro.
are some of the best storytellers in the world, bro. Like,
no, we're the best.
Like, and I'm not even meaning just comedians and actors and, I'm meaning across the board. Storytelling is so broad.
Bro.
Entrepreneurs. Some of the guys I met in Bali that are entrepreneurs that are Māori, I was like, yeah. Athletes, you painters, you name it, bro. Moko,
They're the best, bro. We're the best. We're the best. And we've done the most with the least amount of money.
Yeah.
Trust me.
I don't know if a lot of Māoris and Polynesians are fully aware of this.
Nah. Because when you grow up around it, you think it's normal.
Yeah.
You think everyone's like that.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Yeah, bro.
Bro, I'll tell you the craziest shit that ever happened to me, bro. So I was in the Netherlands, bro, filming a TV show. And we were doing these like vox pops, having to ask people about New Zealand culture. And we were in this place we were in Rotterdam, which is like an hour to train ride out of Amsterdam.
Because
this isn't like a mainland part of it is a mainland part of the Netherlands, but this isn't like a place that you would say like heaps of people from overseas would go to like all the time. Yeah. So anyway, where I'm getting at is basically I'd rock up to people, bro, and I'd be like, yo, what do you know about New Zealand? And half of them couldn't speak English. But you know what they would say? They'd say, haka, they start doing it, bro. This one girl, bro, could not speak English. And she was like, my favorite singer is from New Zealand. And he sings in Maori. And I was like, straight away, I was like, who the are you talking about? And she goes, Stan Walker. I was like, you know my cousin? Yo, can't believe you know my twin brother. Yeah. And I was like, bro, that is crazy.
It's mad, eh?
I was in LA and I was getting a drink from this bar out in Venice Beach. The bartender goes, she heard my accent. She goes, you from New Zealand? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, are you Māori? And I was like, yeah, how the do you know what Moldy is? She's like, I follow this beautiful Māori man and his family on TikTok. I was like, if she says Louis, I'm gonna go nuts. And I was like, you follow Louis? And she's like, oh my God, I love him. I was like, can't get away from Moldy.
Oh my God.
Can't get away. Everywhere I've gone, bro, their reference to New Zealand is Moldy.
Wow.
Like our culture, our people, how we talk. Ask anyone overseas to do a New Zealand accent. Say specifically, do a New Zealand accent. Hey, bro, that sounds like my uncle.
You know what's crazy with that? We were rated the most sexiest accent in you know what I mean?
Why would we not be? That was almost a weird reminder to myself of like, yo, this is what makes us special. This is our culture.
Yeah, bro.
What we're giving. And it's so interesting that, you know, we almost lose so much sight of that within ourselves. But it's that same thing. You forget what makes you special every day because you only know your flaws. Yeah. You only know what you don't know.
Yeah, wow.
I'm trying to go out and tell like all our people like, nah, but look at what we do know and look at how much people love it.
It's so true, bro. We put so much pressure on ourselves of what we don't know.
We do. It's constantly about what we don't know. We're not there. We're not ready yet. I don't know this. I don't. The world doesn't give a The world loves us.
Brother.
Loves us.
What an intro. Bro.
Yo.
We just chopped it up about culture, but I do want to go back to your earlier days. You mentioned upper hut, lower hut, right? Wainui o Mata.
Bro.
Did my research. You know what I mean, dude? Came prepared.
I see what you're doing there, bro.
Didn't even look over there.
Nah, straight up. Yeah,
for anyone that doesn't know, actually, Lower Hut is near Wellington.
Yeah.
And anyone who doesn't know that, New Zealand.
It's pretty buzzy because like it's technically its own city. It's called Lower Hutt City. It has its own council. But it's, I guess the comparison would be like, it would be like East Auckland to Auckland, you know?
Yeah.
But then imagine if East Auckland was its own city. It's pretty buzzy. And then Wainui is almost disconnected from the hut. You got to go over a hill and all that shit. But yeah, anyway, I don't know.
As I mentioned, some of your new videos, because you've only recently jumped back on the YouTube waka.
Bro, only like six or so weeks ago. Bro.
Yeah, because and one of those videos was about Wainui.
Yeah.
Nah, I love that too. Actually, I didn't want to ask you this before we dive into your earlier years, but what has sort of, I feel like a lot of the newer content is a lot more like personal.
Yeah.
Like it's a little bit more revealing. I love that, bro.
Sure, bro.
But my question is why, what sort of like made you go into this sort of, this path?
I appreciate it, bro. America really changed my perspective on kind of everything within my life, especially mahi. I think my big thing became, for so long, I had set myself on this one direction because the stand-up and like comedy industry is actually pretty, for lack of a better word, binary. There's really only one way that's preached for you to kind of go down and progress in. And, you know, I kind of went through my own version of that route, but I did go down that route. And as I started to go down further and further, I started to feel really, I never felt confident in it. And I always felt like I didn't really ever have a chance of being successful. Only because for me, I felt like I wasn't good in any part of it. I'd go on like TV, bro, and I didn't feel like I was that good. I would go and like do these writing sessions and I didn't feel I was that good. And yeah, that's imposter syndrome. But then also I think I realized, no, I think I just don't like relate or feel connected to any of this mahi. I think I'm just doing what I have been told is the right direction to go. And my most recent trip, bro, was the last sort of, I think was the end of that journey, because I went and did the show at the Laugh Factory, which is like a massive comedy club. You know, it's like it's pretty well known like in the stand-up scene. And it's out in LA. And I was on with like some real big comedians. And bro, I came off and I bombed. I would say I bombed. But I wasn't feeling bad about that. I actually felt like, weirdly, I didn't give a shit. And I just turned to my partner and I was like, I think I'm done, hey. I think that was the last time I ever feel like I want to do stand-up. Wow. And bro, my partner's the bitch. She was just like, all right, well, what do you think you want to do? And we just like walked around LA just talking about that. And then from that conversation, I realized it wasn't that I didn't want to do stand-up. It was that I was done doing it the way that I think I thought you were supposed to do it. And then that's why as soon as I came back home, bro, basically I sat down with her and just said, I'm going to pretty much reinvent like everything that I've been doing, which is crazy because at that point it had actually been working. You know, I'd been able to do some real cool stuff.
Absolutely.
But I was just like, I feel so disconnected from this. I don't feel like even the best version of this, I know I won't enjoy. So what does that look like? What do I have to do in order to be enjoying this?
Wow.
And that was the first thing I realized, but I wasn't doing anything that felt connected to me. People had been following me for, at that point, I started posting content actively like around 2017. So I would say people have been following me for like 7-8 years, bro, and still don't know anything about me.
Yeah.
I realized I hadn't said jack shit about who I was, shown anybody where I was from. I would talk a bit about my relationship with being Māori and being Fijian, but like never really. And that's pretty much what I just decided, bro, was like, you know what? I'm going to stop being scared to open myself up, because I would talk a lot about mental health and think I was being open and being vulnerable. But there's a difference between talking about things and ideas in hindsight and then talking about your experiences. And that was what I realized I wasn't doing.
Oh my God.
And I wasn't doing it across the board. I do it on podcasts here and there, but I wasn't doing it in mediums where people were like really always looking at me, which was, you know, short form, like YouTube, all that stuff. So, bro, that was pretty much how it all came about.
Wow, brother.
Yeah.
And so now when you approach mahi, whatever mahi that may be, is it, I want to be connected to this thing first and foremost before I even embark on it?
100%. And I think my big thing now is wanting to make sure that I am just as open, as authentic and true to myself as I can be. Even if that means doing and saying things that, you know, scare me. Which the Hikoi video, which, bro, I appreciate you acknowledging, I think was a big one for me, because being Moldy was always something that I felt proud of within myself, but something I was always scared to ever be open about.
Share to the world.
Because that's such a personal relationship, so it's such a personal thing to me, and there's something so scary about sharing that. But for me, I was like, you know what? I owe it to myself. And I almost owe it to being Moldy to share that, because at the very, very least, it allows other people that may potentially feel the same to have a connection and have someone that they can kind of relate to in that way. And even if that's 2-3 people, bro, that's more than enough for me, you know?
Oh my God. I can resonate with that a lot. And I feel like a lot of people will as well, particularly maybe more so in the art space as well, with looking at jobs and thinking, oh man, the only reason why I'm doing this is because I know that other people are going to be like, man, you're in that, you're doing that. That's cool. But you yourself, you know, like, man, I don't feel connected to it. I don't even know if I'm going to enjoy it. Why am I doing this? I actually approach things like that too, bro.
I was going to say, do you have your own version of that? Like kind of being on this, you know, like a plane that you sort of feel is the way that you've been told, and then have you had a version of that? Yeah,
bro. Well, earlier, maybe if you asked me 3-4 years ago, bro, I'd say yes to anything. You know? Yeah. When I first started out, I'd say yes to whatever. I just wanted to learn.
Which is mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, oh, you're just keen, hungry, or, but now I'm a lot more selective. And it's not selective in the way of like, oh my God, like I have a name or whatever like that. It's just more so like very similar to you. Like, do I actually want to be doing this thing for this certain period of time?
Yeah.
Would I rather enjoy having a sit-down conversation with my bro like this? You know what I mean? It's like, what do I want to build? Where do I want to spend my time? So I approach mahi like that now as well. And like I told you, I've been out the acting game this year, just getting smacked in the face. But definitely looking forward to diving into the space going forward.
What do you feel like, is your, because for me, one thing that I realized was the question I'm asking you is, was there anything within you that you realized you had to work on in order to be able to do that? Because for me, I realized I had no boundaries.
Yeah.
I was really scared to ever say no to people, to ever turn things down. I was scared to even say, for example, this isn't an exact example, but this is kind of will give people an idea of what I was like. Say maybe I'm lactose intolerant, and say someone like offered to bring me a coffee and it was full milk, I would have just taken it.
Yeah, bro.
And I had to almost get over that of being okay with being like, oh, I'm actually allergic to this shit.
Very similar.
Which is, it sounds so trivial and so weird. It sounds so small to even like really acknowledge or care about an interaction like that. But for me, I just realized I would put myself or my thoughts or what I had on my mind like second in so many small interactions that it ended up just putting me in a path of my life in a bigger way where I was just going down a direction I didn't even want to be in. But it was because I continued to do that in small ways throughout my life too.
Oh my God, bro. Can I ask you a question on this? Because I'm very, very similar. And I wanted to ask you this anyway, but do a lot of people, do they call you or the Mr. Nice Guy? Have you got told that a lot of your life?
When I was younger, straight pushover.
Yeah.
I'll do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to like pick your car up at 3 a.m.? All right, yeah, I got you.
Yeah. I'm like a lot of people always, they call me the Mr. Nice Guy. And I used to hate it. And I always wonder like, what is it? Why? Again, the people pleasing. If someone offered me and I didn't want it, I'd still say yes.
Big people pleaser, bro.
And I always, even now, bro, I question it. Why? Is it something in childhood? Is it a negative? Is it a positive?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what it is, but I just know I'm aware of it now. And I wanted to ask you if you've sort of experienced the same thing, because you seem like such 100%. a nice guy, a loving guy.
Appreciate
and I don't know if it stemmed from maybe the way you were raised. You seem like you were raised correctly.
Right, definitely. And my mum, who's, a beautiful Fijian woman, brought me up and my brother's up in a very Fijian way, which is, manners and respect. And like, I don't think I've ever asked anyone for something without saying please. Like that was how hard like my mum brought my brothers and I up. But there's also another element of this, and I think this is such a Pacific thing. That part of Pacific culture in general, I genuinely am really, really proud of. Like, I love that my people, like our people are like that. Yeah. But where that also is so detrimental to us is that we often are brought up with these mindsets that like our thoughts, our needs come second. They come second to respect, come second to hierarchy. And that's sweet when you're younger and you're surrounded by adults or hierarchy supposedly that have your best interests in mind. I'm saying like more as a general idea. But bro, when you get out to the real world, hierarchy doesn't have your best interests in mind. Like hierarchy doesn't have the respect for you that you give to it. I suppose.
Yeah.
And that was such a massive thing that I had to like really get over, bro. And it was so difficult because you're basically going against like your very nature. Like you do these little things, like that felt so rude, or oh damn, I felt so disrespectful just then.
Yeah.
And you're doing something so basic like saying no to plans. Saying like, oh no, I'm pretty tired. Nah, I don't really feel like drinking today, actually. Like,
Wow.
nah, I'm okay. You know?
Yeah, bro.
So it was such a massive thing for me to break through, which is so hard to talk about it being a bad thing to break through because, like I said, it's a beautiful thing. And I'm so grateful to my mum for raising my brothers and I in that way. And my old man, like he's absolutely the same, but I guess the way it was like a very particularly Fijian way.
Yeah.
I was so grateful to her for that. And then I guess I've just had to figure out my own relationship with the balance of that.
Yeah.
Which I think will forever be hard.
Absolutely.
But I think the intention of it being balanced is me almost turning to myself and saying, no, you're worth the hassle in some of these situations, bro. Your thoughts in this situation are worth being said. So say it, like all those kinds of things. So yeah, bro, that's kind of where that came from and then how I've tried to break through it. In this new stage of my life, I guess.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Oh, that is so interesting. Like sometimes putting yourself first, right?
Yeah.
Which is against, as you said, the cultural.
Fijians and Moldy, that's I should say Islanders and Moldy are like, Polynesians are like that's so against our nature.
Absolutely.
And I don't think it's something that's talked about enough, you know? And I think a lot of Islanders, to be honest, close off that kind of conversation because they immediately think, no, we need to be respectful, like, as always. And it's like, no, we can be and still have our best interests in mind.
Wow.
Let's talk about how we get to that. Mm-hmm. So that's something that I think I'd love to see us talk about a lot more and figure out, what is the balance. And I really bring that back to what we spoke about earlier, that being, no, this is how our culture can evolve. It's still paying homage to our ancestors, our traditions, but it's bringing it into something new that allows us to live in the modern day with it,
bro.
And that's
and to excel in that as well, right?
But that's entirely a personal belief of mine and my own opinion.
I love it.
But it's just something that I personally am trying to live by for myself. And if others, it resonates with them, then me.
Oh, absolutely. I did want to actually ask you, speaking of mum and dad, were they always supportive in you, like sort of chasing your, I guess, your dreams and the things you wanted to do?
I think they hate when people ask me this, bro, because they know the answer. Not at all. Nah, not at all. I think they, but my dad was, grew up, poor, moldy dude, families from Taranaki, moved to the hut. Mum moved over from Fiji when she was younger. They came up at a time where, you think about the relationship with race now and how still contentious that is. And imagine that back in the 70s. That's what my parents grew up in. So, I think they were really part of a generation that you either adapted or died. That was the attitude. So I think for them, they viewed a lot of the traditional, and I don't mean this in an insulting way, but the traditional sort of Pākehā way of living as the only way to success. Because to be honest, it was the only way publicized to it.
Yeah.
It was the only way that, people spoke about and was apparent. So for them, they became so subscribed to that. So, they put me and my brothers on a similar path to be within that because they want the best for us. And so me breaking out of that, that's obviously, you're not only just challenging how someone raised you, you're challenging how someone chose to live their life.
Yeah.
So that was a real difficult period for my parents and I, to be honest, because it was a complete clash of, two ways of living really and two ways of being. But it's been a real beautiful, I guess, transformation in our relationship as I've gotten older because if anything, they've started to realize how they can, I guess, get part of their life back that they, that you do give up in that pursuit of what I'm kind of talking about. And I'm not saying I credit all that to like my journey in that.
The success for sure.
But I think, you know, that was definitely like a small part of it too. So it's been like my dad he's now like a fully qualified like traditional carver, Moldy carver. So, you know, he's really reclaiming back a lot of things within his own identity and his relationship with it. Mum's doing the same. You know, she's getting a lot of like Fijian tattoos. To a lot of people, these will all sound, you know, maybe trivial, but when we talk about reclamation and taking back what's ours, like, it's those small ways
absolutely
that you do it as well.
Yeah, bro.
It doesn't just have to be a hikoi.
Yeah.
It doesn't just have to be, you know, like speaking strong on the piper. It could be
fluency. Tiny,
it can be tiny things that like claim that back.
Absolutely.
And because it's not the big, I don't even know if this is the saying, but like I'll say my own remix of it. You know, it's not the big sweeping sword. I guess it's the 1,000 cuts. That's not even the saying, but I try to like make it up and make it sound mean, and I just fully it. But
I know what you mean.
It's the inches. Nah, I don't even think that's it either. But I've definitely said that before.
Well, bro, actually, bro. No, I love it. Speaking of your sort of earlier stages, you started off as a property developer,
bro. How the do you know that?
Cause do your research, yo.
What have you got written down? Is that actually your book where you like research though?
Yeah, bro.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You guys got to see Zach's setup he's got here, bro. That's amazing,
bro. Oh, Dave Arthur, bro. Joe Daymond's on the pod. I do it for all my guests though.
Nah, I could see that, bro.
You know what I mean? Like,
I genuinely really respect and appreciate that, brother.
Bro,
but you strike me from the bat as having that kind of work ethic. Yeah. For real. From the bat.
Thank you. I think it's more of like a respect thing as well. And like,
appreciate
and to be honest, I haven't actually looked at it this whole time.
Bro, you haven't, which is I also noticed.
Yeah. Well, I never do. I try not to.
That's crazy.
But it's always there in the back of my mind if I need it.
Yeah.
But, bro, thank you guys.
Sorry, bro. I keep like reaching around this.
Sorry, but I did know from the research, and I wasn't
sure if it looked awkward if I was doing that. So I tried that, but then that felt awkward too. So I was like, I'm just
going to put both of them out. Yeah. You started off as a property developer, but you actually had to, you had to go to uni and stuff for that, eh?
Yeah. So I was studying property development, and I was working as a project manager's assistant, just interning. So I started off studying accounting and finance at uni. I thought I was going to be an accountant. Wow. I was a scholarship accounting student at school. Imagine my dumbass accounting, bro. Any of my clients be getting calls from IRD every day, bro. Yo, he spelled your name wrong. Some of these numbers. He's cooked your books, man. Not because he's trying to steal, but because he can't count. But bro, it's such a buzzy part of my life looking back. But yeah, I was working as a property developer's project manager's assistant, working in the industry. My big thing, I really wanted to be in property and property development, only because it's a pretty crack up story. I've always been loved walking, bro. Like I'll go for real random walks. And when I was in high school, I went to boarding school. I used to do it all the time. And there was this dude, I went for a walk. My school was a rich school in a rich area. So I walked past this old dude in the front of his house, bro. He's this flash ass house in this place called Seatoon in Wellington, which is like a mean ass spot. It's kind of like Wellington's, it's like Wellington's Herne Bay, I reckon. I describe it.
Gotcha.
This guy's outside his house, bro, like watering his plants, flash ass house. And I go, yo, bro, what do you do? And he's like, oh, just better this and that. Have you ever asked a rich old person what they do?
Now, recently?
Bro.
Recently, I'm asking a lot, bro.
They never tell you, though. Like, up front. You always have to be like, no, but for real, what do you actually do, cuz? Because you've got the biggest house I've ever seen. You're telling me you do this and that. Like, shut the hell up. Shut up, hooligan hefs. Like, what do you actually do, bro? They're so annoying, man. But yeah, I asked this old dude, bro, and he said property developer. Wow. That was literally the only reason I started it.
Shit.
Yeah, crack up, mate.
Oh my God. Well, what happened So you started, you did this internship. What sort of happened when you were in there?
They were cool and no, they weren't cool, bro. They were so out the gate. Like, yo, my boss comes in one day, bro, and he was like, and I actually just bumped into him for the first time since I left, bro, like a couple weeks back. He walks in one day and he goes, and I was interning, like interning, bro, working for free, full time.
Yeah.
And had been doing, so I did that there at that place for almost 2 years. And he walks in and he goes, yo, Joe, I just got a new Porsche. And I have never had any interest in cars, bro. I've never ever vocalized even pretending I had interest in cars. But I was like, oh, so like him saying that to me was random. So I go, oh, cool. And he goes, yeah, you want to go check it out? And I was like, oh, I've kind of got some stuff I need to do. I'll go down later. Yeah, for sure. He's like, nah, go have a look now. I was like, oh, okay. And then he chucks me the keys. He's like, yeah, go have a look. And I was like, oh, what? Can I have a drive? He's like, no, just sit inside though. And I remember just thinking, what the This is so like, this is crazy that I'm clearly in a position where they think I envy what they have to the point where that interaction to them is pretty normal. And that shit used to happen all the time, bro, to be honest.
Wow.
And it kind of just got to the point where the final one for me, bro, because this part's going to sound out of it. I've never said this on camera, but I actually just stopped turning up. Because the final one for me was, we went to this, there's a huge full circle moment in this, bro. This is so buzzy.
Hit me, buddy.
I don't know what anybody's relationship with spirituality or the universe in this is. Mine's pretty like basic. I had trust in the universe because of shit like this, bro. This is so buzzy. So the thing that ended my property development career, bro, we went to this Bailey's thing. Like Bailey's, the real estate company on the viaduct. And it was like a networking thing. Bailey's was like their main like seller, like, you know, sold all their properties and shit, whatever you call that. And I wasn't dressed particularly like flash, like I didn't have a suit on or anything. I didn't even own one at the time. But I was dressed what I thought was nice. And yeah, you know, a 20-year-old's version of what's nice is probably still shit.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like scruffy. This is all gonna make sense. So we're like at this thing, and I've always been a pretty good conversator, communicator. I've never been like an awkward sort of person. And we're at this thing, and I keep trying to start conversations with people, and they straight up just keep blowing me off. Like, I'm not even talking about like small talk, haha, leave. I'm talking like straight up just, I'll be like, hey, how's it going? And they'll be like, turn around, walk away. And I gave it like a few chances. To be honest, I gave it way too long. Yeah. To be honest, me now wouldn't have even gone.
Yeah.
But back then, like I said, you know, I was like, you know, I want to put on a good face for the boss. These people do a lot of great work. So I want to be the best I can be. But it just wasn't happening. And I just kept getting blown off. And I'm the last person to ever be like, it's because of what I look like. I leave, that is the last thing. So a lot of shit has to happen for me to then be like, it was that.
Yeah.
And it happened so much. And I knew it wasn't an age thing because my bro, who's the man, he was with me there as well. He was fine.
Yeah.
But you can guess what he looked like. So I remember calling my mum afterwards, and I was like, and I wasn't a big crier back then, bawling my eyes out, bro. And I was like, Mama, I can't do this. Like, I can't even describe like what I'm feeling right now, but this happened and this happened. I literally can't do it. Like I want to be so good at this. And I've shown up every day for these people. I've worked my ass off. They've never, ever paid me. That part I don't give a about. But at the very least, I got told, if you show up and you're diligent and you do everything you're told, that the opportunity comes. That's what the world told us. So why have all that time? Not only has that not happened, but I'm getting treated like I've done something wrong, if anything. And bro, like that moment literally changed my life.
Yeah.
I told my mum I can't do it. And I just stopped turning up, bro. And looking back, I wish I had the confidence to be like, this happened. This is why I'm not coming. But I didn't, bro. I didn't even have the confidence to let them know that I can't come. So I just stopped going.
Yeah, wow.
And I was, bro, like I started drinking hard out. Like I just sort of lost like my direction a little bit. And then that was, I can't even remember like when that was. But anyways, basically I started my stand-up comedy career like not long after that. Fully just decided to, it was the first thing ever that had clicked to me. It was the first thing ever that felt like, for me up to that point, feeling I had to be a certain way and that I kept doing it wrong. There's one thing with doing what you think is right and then adding on the fact that you feel like you keep doing it wrong and people making you feel like you're doing it wrong. And that's what that felt like. Stand-up was the complete opposite of that. And that felt like a gift, bro. That was like, holy shit, like I feel like I'm allowed here.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm allowed to be here.
Wow.
This is crazy. I delved deep into it, bro. Anyway, I was, a few years down the track. I do this TV show in Amsterdam, which is crazy. I get flown overseas for mahi. Stephen Adams, I actually grew up with Steve, but we hadn't talked for ages since high school. You get a call up to host his charity thing. And for those of you that don't know, Stephen Adams, NBA player, one of our he's a big name in NZ.
Huge.
And they've asked me to host this thing with Miriam Makamu. Shout out Miri. And that alone, I thought, okay, that's crazy. But guess where they want me to host it, bro? At that same Bailey's place.
No way.
And bro, it was the craziest thing. And the wildest thing of all, bro, my boss was there. And that was the first time I saw him since I left that place.
Wow, Joe,
Bro.
that's crazy, brother.
Crazy. So like, my thing is,
You could write anything on that, G, alone. That is huge.
regardless of what your relationship with spirituality is, the universe, there's every version of it in every culture. There's something there.
Wow.
Because of all the decisions and stuff you can make in life, no planning or whatever can make something like that so full circle like that happen. And so for me, that was almost one of those moments where I was like, damn, like life really does look after you and take care of you if you just give yourself the best opportunity for it to do so. If you just look after yourself, because stand-up was the ultimate signal for me to be like, I'm going to put myself first for the first time in my life. This is something that makes me feel good. And everything is telling me not to do it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And that was the reward. And there ain't no sweeter reward, brother.
Nah, brother, that's a full circle.
Yeah.
That's a redemption.
That was
story.
crazy, bro.
Oh my God, that is powerful, brother.
Yeah, so that was a crazy, crazy full circle on that one. And there's been so many like that, but that's one that I think really encompasses at least my experience with, the property stuff and then where I got to in the end with it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Every
bro.
single emotion under the sun in that, bro.
It's crazy,
That's
bro.
mad. You got me going in there, bro.
Nah, it's
Holy
crazy.
shit. I actually do have a, in quotation marks, which sort of summarizes that experience in a little bit, but here we go. In a business that is perception-based, as a young, broke, brown kid doing my best, I wasn't accepted. But
Dang.
I feel like Well, because there'll be a lot of young lads tuning in, probably brown lads too, that may be in a position where they don't feel accepted, whether it be a job, whether it be any sort of situation.
Yeah.
If you had to like, I don't know, give them any sort of advice, would it just be to own your shit and speak about it and then go? Would it be just go, or what would you sort of say to that individual now?
Dang, bro, that's such a good question. Yeah, it's funny. Like that's a hard one because there's so many schools of thought you could go on. But my biggest thing that I've really started to lean on is this idea of telling people, you are the finished product now. You're the finished product now. I was a person that was always envious of this idea of myself that I aimed to get to one day. Like, I'm not shit, but he's going to be the man. He's the one that everyone's going to love. My parents are going to love him. My partner, she's going to feel so safe and taken care of by him. My brothers are going to respect and love him so much. And that was something that I lived by, bro, like religiously, to be honest. And I worked my fucking ass off to get to, but it ain't real. I made him up.
Oh my God.
It's a version of myself that may never, ever be real because I made him up. And so my thing that I would go back to myself and tell myself back then, who whenever I see another young brown dude in the same position, I think of as a younger version of myself, or even as a version of, one of my younger brothers now, as I always really want to make the point of telling them like, bro, you're perfect now. And I even go so far as trying to figure out, even just in those moments, like, the little things I can tell that they do. Like, bro, you do this? Yeah. That's unreal for this. You can go do that right now.
Yeah.
You don't need, all this shit or to do this crazy thing. Like, you're ready now. And that's a really, really big, like, kaupapa that I guess I've invested in for myself that I've tried to, like, exude and express as well. Because we get so caught up on being this version of ourselves that, to be honest, it's never, ever going to be real.
Oh my God, bro. It's kind of contradicting to what's out there. That's the future self.
Yeah.
Look at who do you want to meet in 5-10 years.
Person is not real and is never going to be. But you're real right now and you're perfect the way you are right now. Perfect. The person that goes and does the crazy shit that you envision, that the universe is telling you you're going to experience, you're that person right now.
Go do it now.
You're going to be the person there, not this. Because we all imagine, I imagine myself 6-pack, somehow 6'3", even though I'm 29 and 5'10". Like, he's going to be there one day. We all do that shit.
Yeah.
And it's just, they say it, you hear it a lot. And I guess I always try to like rephrase things because we do hear them a lot, especially when we're trying to better ourselves. You hear that love yourself a lot. And people, but it's hard because people that typically need to hear that don't even know what the that means.
Yeah.
So I guess my thing of saying that in a practical way of when I speak to people on that is like, no, look at these skills you have right now. That's literally ready to go. You're the only person that it's waiting on.
Yeah.
So go, get started.
Wow.
So yeah, bro, that's kind of how I live. And really is the energy that I really want to give to everybody that I kind of come past and, join life with, really.
I haven't heard it like that, bro. That is a great perspective.
Appreciate you, bro.
That's huge. That's a gem right there.
Appreciate it, cuz.
Nah, that's massive. You mentioned stand-up and...
Also, bro, I appreciate... Where the do you even get that quote?
Bro, I actually don't know where I found that. I got a few, cuz. You wait. I don't know where exactly I found that one.
Your work ethic is different, G. I've done probably 200 of these, G.
Yeah.
Never ever has anyone ever done like that level of detail, that concise. Like, I'm not even saying it just, bro, I respect it so much, man.
Nah, thank you, my brother.
For real. And I really appreciate it.
Yeah, like I told you, bro, I put it in for all of my guests like yourself. I respect you and what you've done, and therefore you deserve my respect.
You don't even need to say it that way, bro, because I know you do this in all parts of your life.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate that.
Let me, I left
my
that.
brother.
All right.
I'll pull it out the way, bro. I'll pull it out the way. But yeah, sorry, G. I just had to let you know that's unreal.
No, I appreciate it, brother. Speaking of your stand-up, was you, even when you were at the property development firm, did you always know that you wanted to do stand-up? Like, even when you were there, you were like, I have this sort of itch to get it, or was it kind of like a try stand-up?
Bro, I came into stand-up ready for stand-up because of Poro Ake, bro, because like my whānau, they're like big in the hut. So we're always, how do I describe this for anyone watching this? Not Māori. When you're a Moldy, they're like, a lot of people in the community know, there's one thing that means, you have to go to all the tangi. You go to all of them. People you never met. people that knew you when you were 2 months old. That are asking you if you remember them. And you're like, yep. Yeah, I do remember.
Absolutely, Auntie.
Bro, absolutely. So, we were always going to like everything under the sun. And when you're a kid, bro, you get so sick of it. But when you look back as an adult, you're like, that was so mean that, my family were that to the community, that my family are that, like those kind of people. So we were always going, bro. And my old man is a very quiet dude. So for us as the like eldest of like my brothers and I was always the one getting up and speaking on behalf of us when we were at the marae. And because I was always scared, because I obviously couldn't speak te reo, I always felt like I needed to make an effort to at least be crack up.
Yeah.
And that was like an active thought that I remember even being as young as like 13 and thinking. And being like, yeah, no, that, because, some of my cousins or like, some of my whānau would go up and they'd mahi hard, bro. Like mean, and, you're hearing all them. When you're following that, you're yeah. I'm sitting there, bro. I'm like, oh, I am. He's about to sing whakarongo, hit all the notes, bro. I can't even sing. I'm like, oh my days. And and they're all looking at me like, did this Fijian dude get lost on the way to Polyfest? So I know I've got all that against me, bro. So I knew at the very least from as young as 13, I was like, okay, at least I've got to be crack up.
Yeah.
And that was how it came up, bro. And I just got to the point where, I was always kind of having to speak like on behalf, not for, like on behalf of like me and my whānau and stuff and everything. And it was, as a kid, I hated it, bro, to be honest. Because, when you're a kid, you don't want to have to be doing that shit.
Yeah,
you don't even, to be honest, you don't even want to be sitting in there. You want to be running around out the front, like, throwing rocks at cars and shit. I want to be in here. But, bro, it was the biggest blessing to my life, bro, and something I'm so grateful for. Wow. And it was because of that I had never, ever considered stand-up ever, like really ever. And then as I started to get into more spaces where I would speak publicly, people would be like, you're pretty funny on stage. Like, do you do stand up? And it was through that idea came in. And I was like, just got to a point in my life where I was really up to fuck all.
Yeah.
And I was, at a low point, but I was in a mindset where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try stuff.
Yeah.
Because my life ain't shit right now. So what have I got to lose?
Yeah, bro.
Stand up was one of them. Changed my life forever, bro.
Oh my God.
Changed my life forever.
I think that's a great example of if anyone hasn't got anything going for them, that makes you a dangerous individual, as they like to call it.
Bro.
And
true.
Yeah, but Alex Mosey talks about it all the time.
That sounds mean.
It is, bro. When you got nothing's working. You feel like a loser, this and that. It means you got nothing to lose, bro. You may as well. You can try anything.
That's when you're at your most dangerous.
Exactly, bro. Yeah.
I've never heard it put that way, bro. That's actually so dope.
It's cool, eh?
No.
Yeah, bro. I heard that.
That's so true, though, because you've like, damn, I've never thought about that way. But I was definitely in that space, bro, because for me, in my eyes, and I guess practically I had nothing. But then because I, in a sense, had stripped my whole life and there was really enough, like I could do anything.
Bro, it's a mindset shift. Like most people, when they have nothing, that's, oh my God, I have nothing. But if you like, I have nothing, I have so much opportunity to try whatever the heck it is that I want.
You have everything now.
Absolutely.
Bro, that is crazy. Because basically what I did was I've talked about this a bit, but actually not for a while. Pretty much what I did, bro, was I made a list of 10 things. And I said to myself, you're going to try all 10 of these things. 10 things that I wanted to try.
Yeah, like
I
a
was
bucket
like,
list.
you're going to do every single one. Yeah, hard out. It definitely has a name, bucket list. I invented this thing called a list on this thing I made called paper. And then I wrote the first words ever.
Oh, shit.
So good. And yeah, bro, I just like committed to doing that, and then stand-up was one of them. But that's so true. It was because it was the first time in my life I had nothing. It was also the first time in my life I felt like I could do everything. And I said I was going to. Bro, that's such a mean way of putting it. You're at your most dangerous.
When you started, so you started in 2017.
Yeah.
Did you fall in love with it immediately when you actually, or was it like you had to slowly sort of build towards it, and as you got better at the thing, you enjoyed it more, or did you love it straight away?
It's funny, bro. Like, I did love it quickly, but not straight away. But I straight away knew I was good.
Yeah.
And that when you've gone your whole life with, because we're all super self-critical, especially brown people, bro. We're super self-critical. We don't realize how self-critical we are. It comes back to that, to be honest, that whole respect thing, that burden thing, that like, hey, watch out. Remember when you get here, speak this way, do this, that. So when you carry that within yourself, you're constantly walking around thinking like, oh, I'm doing stuff wrong, or like, I'm always doing something wrong. So I grew up my whole life thinking that, bro, that I was always doing something wrong, that I was always doing something bad, that I was always doing things not the right way. Stand-up was the very first time that I was like, damn, I'm meant to be here. I'm meant to do this shit.
Wow.
And I'd never had that. It's not even like it was confidence. It was just that, bro, weirdly, certainty. And I love Pākehā, bro. Love white people. And I think a lot of people get misconstrued my passion for my cultures as me not being there. Like, I don't know if I do. I think a big misunderstanding with white privilege, with what comes with white privilege. Like, we can argue all day under the sun what that means. I think for me, one thing that it brings that I don't think Pākehā could understand that as brown people we don't have is certainty. Even if it's just a certainty in who you are. A white person can walk into a space, everybody knows what that means.
Wow.
We don't carry that. We carry a lot more that is really, really difficult to explain if you haven't experienced it. And yeah, that doesn't really sound like a privilege. It sounds like something like pretty small and pretty trivial. But then when you actually look at how it affects you in your life, how you carry yourself, you can actually see how you start to fall behind. Because there's certain areas where other people have the confidence to step forward, where you've actually been told, no, this is where you step back.
Yeah.
And you do that enough, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And suddenly that small trivial thing is the whole reason why there's this big gap.
Wow.
So like for me, stand up being that first time in my life, I was like, oh, this is certain for me. That's crazy that this is what that feels like. And that was how I kind of just decided like, okay, I really have to delve into this. And it was in doing that I then fell in love with it.
Wow. Well, yeah. Since then, bro.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, bro. Nuts.
Sold out Sky City. That was in 2020.
Yeah.
Youngest individual to do it. Are you joking? That's mad,
crazy.
bro. As you mentioned Amsterdam. You've been on a number of TV shows. You even wrote your own.
Yeah.
I actually came to the premiere of that, bro, with the Bouncers. Bro, I came to the premiere of that, cuz. Nah, I don't. I mean, there was heaps of people there.
Because I was trying to think where I've actually. I know I've like either bumped into you or been in your vicinity, but I know we'd never met properly.
Not really in the flesh.
Nah.
Not like properly.
Nah.
We've definitely, I feel like we've been in the same sort of rooms, maybe, or proximity. Ages. Yeah, probably multiple times to be fair.
For ages.
But never in the flesh. But I was there, bro. That was, so you did that, you wrote that. That was,
how were you even there? Who did you know?
I'm
sorry, that sounded so rude.
No.
Only because it's like, it was like such a low key thing. I don't mean it like a how did, like, who do you?
I was with one of my best friends. His name's Tino Nangoni. Bro, T, you remember the night.
Oh, Tino.
Yeah, bro.
He's one of my, oh, 800.
Yeah, cuz. Oh, true. Bro, he's gonna be like, oh my God, he remembers me.
Oh, bro, shout out. Oh, 800, man.
Yeah, all day.
Shout out Tino, bro.
Yeah, bro. Nah, the bro's got a big future, man. But yeah, I went with him.
So
Wrong with them.
are you from, because where are those boys all from? They're from...
So Tina was from the shore. So I went to school, my later high school years at Rangitoto.
Did you?
Yeah, bro, North Shore.
No shit.
So yeah, grew up in West Auckland and then moved over to the shore, bro.
Where out west are you from?
Te Atatu Peninsula and South.
True, but
yeah,
I grew up, not grow up, I lived at Peninsula.
No way.
For a minute, bro.
Bro, 834, bro. If I ever send you my email, it's zachmartin834@gmail.com. Oh, actually, I shouldn't have said that. God damn, I'm going to get emails a day.
No, that's crap, bro. How good is Tet, bro?
Bro.
How good is Tet?
Gee, the pen, that's where it all started,
That's the
bro.
best. Oh, is it?
That's my childhood.
No shit.
Why know your mother for you?
Oh,
Tat pen for me, bro. Yeah.
It is?
Yeah, cuz that's my early...
Bro, I have a lot of love for that place, bro.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah.
So I was living out of my car, bro, 2018. Was it 2018? Yeah. And then I moved in with my uncle and aunt in Te Atatu Peninsula after that, like middle... When was that? Yeah, middle of 2019, I think. So Tet Peninsula, bro, was like the first time I'd felt like stability in my life.
Wow.
Like, to be honest, I reckon ever.
Yeah.
So I like really embrace that place as my home, bro. I'd go play touch down the park on Fridays. Another touch. I'd go down to the RSA, like my uncle.
God. Yeah.
Bro, the other like tab, I think it's shut down now, the one that's next to the liquor store.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, I'd go down there.
No way, you stay away from head dads?
I go, bro. Of course, cuz. Of course.
Yeah, gee.
Bro, I got real love for that place, bro.
Yeah, bro.
For real.
Oh, man.
I love Tet, bro.
Oh, that place a lot. But yeah, bro. Speaking of bouncers, so you've done a lot. It's
Yeah, my
pretty
bad.
Yeah, no. You've done a lot. Does bro, when I name all those things, or when you think about your career, you mentioned the story of you and your partner talking about how you think you're done in the space, which is even a shock to me. But when you look back on your career, what are sort of like, I guess, the feelings that arise? Are you proud of everything? Are you sort of like, do you even think about it? Or is it just like a...
Dang. This is going to be a pretty buzzy answer, bro.
Yeah, cuz, hit me.
But actually like real embarrassed though.
Yeah.
Only because of what I spoke about earlier. Getting to that point where I realized like I'm just ticking boxes, doing like the quote unquote right things, doing what people say is the way to become a, whatever it is you become when you do comedy. And I think I was embarrassed about it for a long time before I actually was able to admit it to myself that I am embarrassed. But then the moment that I was able to admit that was the moment my life changed, because it was the moment that I admitted to myself I was living inauthentically.
Wow.
So it's weird because I hate saying that because I don't want it to say like I'm not grateful. Like I'm so grateful for those things. Will forever be.
Absolutely.
But I'm grateful for the experiences and the people that it introduced me to. But when it comes to the actual things and the thing it did for me, that's where that embarrassment kind of sits. So it's strange, my relationship with it. And it's funny. I think I'd probably be pretty sad for someone if they said that to me. But I guess the way I'm more trying to say it is in like an empowered way. Like, no, I've found... Or no, not found. I'm finding a more authentic way to be myself in these spaces now. So I'm just in the process of seeing what that actually means.
Oh my God. The word that comes to my mind, bro, when I think about that is like freedom. Like, do you feel like now that you've made that decision for yourself, you feel like freer?
Oh, bro. Hard out.
Yeah.
And it was never for this reason, but it's just made me feel like funnier again.
Mm.
And I don't really think too much about that. I guess because this is more in context of like, what I do for mahi, but when it comes to like posting content on social media, like I don't really think about it that much anymore. Like I used to back in the day, like obsess over and be like, okay, I should do this and this is going to do this. And then if I do this, that means this. And it just was a constant stress in my life. Whereas now I care a lot about, I guess, the process of it, but I don't really give a like the outcome or like how many people see it or whatever.
Wow. And that's beauty in that, bro.
Right. And that's such a different relationship with it.
most people struggle with that.
Yeah.
The outcome, thinking about, oh man, what's going to happen from this? What are they going to think about me from this or whatever it is? It's so cool that you've come to that place, bro. It's taken time, I bet.
Bro, it felt like it took ages, but then you look back and you're like, damn, it's not that long. But I guess for me, it was just so important of, you know, if I'm going to be in these spaces, especially having the privilege of being, you know, for a lot of people that I've been having the privilege to meet overseas, I'm the first version of either a Moldy or a Fijian. I'm the first like Moldy or Fijian a lot of them have ever met. They don't know anything about our cultures.
Yeah.
So I almost owe it to like my own people to represent myself in an authentic way, because if I come in trying to be something else, then I'm only it for the next people through. And I hate to say that because you don't ever want it to be like, nah, but you know, we're all different. But let's be honest, the world doesn't work that way.
Yeah, bro.
So for me, that's something I've made like way more of a concerted effort to be mindful of, that I can't go to these places and be like, I'm a proud Moldy Fijian and also try to pretend to be something else.
Yeah.
So yeah, bro, it's been the best feeling ever. And I don't really know what the career implications are of that, but it was never for that. So, you know, who really gives a
Yeah, bro. Well, now you're in sort of like the unknown territory.
Pretty much,
which,
bro.
Again, so much beauty in there, so much excitement in there.
And that's when the animal is the most dangerous.
Hey, yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
Well, bro, speaking of, there's also on the negative side of that, I want to talk about sort of like the challenges and being in. I don't feel like a lot of people know the arts, bro. The arts, there's, you know, it's a tough
I've
gig,
never talked about it from, I feel like, where you're asking about, bro. Like, sorry, ask away.
No. Like,
I'm giving pre-appreciation to what you're saying.
Yeah. Like, it's a tough industry, bro. It's a feast, and it's a feast or famine industry. And so,
for real,
you know what I mean? And I guess has there been many times in your career where you have felt like, holy shit, maybe I want to go back to property, or, you know, like maybe I want to divert, or...
Bro, I actually want to ask you, tell me your experience with it, because the way you asked me that, I feel like you have your own version of that too.
Yeah, brother.
Tell me your experience, please, bro.
Yeah, bro. Ooh, this is good. I actually didn't, you've sort of like backhanded me, put me in the spot now. Bro, this year's opened my lens completely, where it's been a lot of like, sounds buzzy and stuff, but it's been a lot of like self-learning. You know, that we were talking about, I don't even know if the camera's on, but like the entrepreneurship stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've learned is like, I've really enjoyed that idea of freedom, and it doesn't necessarily mean having the time to do what you want when you want and stuff like that, but it's more like you know, like doing things as me, you know, like always, truthfully me, without having to fucking, you know, try and say yes because of, you know what I mean?
For sure.
So I've only learned that really this year. And now my whole mindset has sort of shifted, where I'm like, okay, how can I build the lifestyle? I don't even know if that's going to answer the question, but how can I build a lifestyle where I can build things just being me, doing me as much as I can, and hopefully people will resonate and love that. And if they don't, that's okay as well.
I love what you're saying, bro. And I'm like so in that. What I want to ask you is, I think people find this real interesting. What about the industry, and I'd love like specific examples, makes that hard to do?
A lot of people, they put this, oh, Zach, are you gonna audition? Are you gonna go to Hollywood and try and audition there? And are you gonna go to Australia? You should go on Home and Away. There's all these different things.
Yeah.
And I know that's what they want, you know? And I don't know if I may want it in 2 or 3 years, but right now I know if I did something like that, like I wouldn't be fulfilled in here. If I achieved it, let's say if I did get a gig over there or did something, I know that I wouldn't be free in here.
Bro, and the irony of it as well is that if you get that kind of shit before you're ready, it's actually bad for your career.
Exactly.
It's actually bad.
100%, bro. And that's why a lot of young people, when they reach a certain amount of success so soon, they end up going off the wall because they don't really know who they are. And so I guess I'm just trying to, like I saw trying to find out a little bit more about who I am first, you know?
I know exactly what you mean. I relate to pretty much like to everything you just said.
But the hardest part in that is what the other people, what they want from me and what they can see in me potentially. And I'm sort of just like, maybe later, not right now.
And I think people probably become desensitized to what that would feel like when you're in it because, you know, I feel like that is an idea that would be talked about a lot, what people expect versus how you're trying to live your, and that seems like something like, oh yeah, I get that idea. But until you're in it, you don't actually realize how difficult that is.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
And it's so hard to describe because
100%.
I guess it's that same thing I spoke about earlier with my parents, you know, like you're essentially in a group environment where everyone's subscribed along to the same thing. And you're going to say that you actually think different.
Yeah.
You don't immediately think like, yeah, I'm this empowered individual that thinks different. You think, no, I must be an idiot or I must be dumb for that. I can't seem to understand why they all want to do this thing that I don't want to do.
Yo.
That's what goes through your head.
Yeah, bro.
And then what then goes from there is like, oh, am I even good enough to be here then if I am that dumb? And so starts the spiral. So starts the real obstacles of actually like breaking through something like that.
Yeah.
It's so hard, man. So, bro, like the way you talk about it just then, like I not only relate to that, I respect it because I know what that shit feels like, bro.
Yeah, brother. No, I appreciate that because it's been, these are all recent thoughts as well.
True.
You know? Yeah. Or well, this year. Man, what are the things that I really want to build? What are the things that I really want to do?
What is, I mean, if you feel open to sharing, like what, is there anything that you do feel, is I don't know, I guess, is there anybody that you see that emulates or that you would love to emulate or that represents a version of something that you feel like?
You know what I really want to get into, bro? I haven't even shared this with anyone, to be honest. I really want to get into like public speaking.
You'd be great. You literally have that energy, G, for real. You know, this is absolutely a compliment, but like, you give me the energy that I feel like David Goggins would have if like I was to ever meet him.
Bro.
Just like you talk to me, you're like, yeah, bro, like I feel like I want to go for a run. Me saying I want to go for a run's a big deal, bro.
Yeah, cuz.
But I feel like going for one after meeting you.
Yeah. Bro, that's huge, brother.
But you really give me that energy, bro, for real.
Thank you.
So I can totally see that from you.
Thank you. It's just, bro, again, these are all recent things that I want to do. So I reached out to my agent last week and we're like, how can I do public speaking classes or where can I go? So I'm going to start there in the summer period.
What are the like? Do you not feel like you can do it or?
Oh no, I just mean like how can I upskill really in that space? Do you reckon just
go hard, brother?
Yeah.
No. No better way to upskill than doing the skill, bro.
Yeah.
For real.
Doing a.
I hope that didn't come across condescending, bro. But like I guess the way I kind of, this is entirely a me thing, bro. So like take this with a grain of salt. But I always go by the just doing it, getting out there. That's the best way to learn. You know, you'll hear people be like, I'm going to sign up to this course for a year. I'm like, fuck the course for a year. Say for a year you're going to do the thing. You'll be further than where the course is going to get you.
Yeah, bro. Wow.
So, and you know, the early days of doing that, it's shit house. You're doing stuff for free or you're doing stuff like in not so glamorous places. But that's the reality of life. So why not just like hit it hard now?
Yeah.
And rather than, you know, putting yourself in this place that, you know, was sure it was laid out for you and you know where you're going to be at the end, put yourself in a position where maybe it's not as clear, but as you've said beautifully, and I'm really going to live by that now, when you don't see it, when you don't know, when you've got really nothing to tie yourself down, that could be anything at the end of that.
Absolutely, brother. Yeah.
So that's all I'd say, bro.
Yeah.
And I feel like you've got enough content-wise and you've got enough experience in life to be able to not only get those opportunities, but like really kill them, bro.
Yeah, cuz. Yeah. Oh, bro. This is crazy,
for real, bro.
Nah, thank you, man.
And to be honest, on a practical level, that shit pays unreal. So, gee, I did not know how mean public speaking paid until like I started to kind of delve into it.
Yeah,
like it's unreal, bro. What some of these people may not understand, but like those big public speakers,
bro.
Yo, it's like 100, 200 grand.
Yeah, like
a speech. It is insane, bro.
Once you've established that, I guess, that influence, and it wouldn't even be in a way of like, man, I want to have influence. It'd be like, man, how can I help? How can I give you something?
100%.
Provide some value somewhere.
Oh, bro, it's like any business. Like once you've established your value in that space, which is exactly what you're talking about, bro, the opportunities are unreal.
That's it, cuz.
And bro, on a practical level. Like, though, you say, for example, there's a fight. All you would have to do, go to any like hotel, conference center in your area and be like, what's the next conference that's coming up? And it'll be something random. Like it is a conference for dog owners that have dogs with 3 leashes. Like something random as and then you hear there's 3,000 people going and that they have a budget of $2 million. And you're like, I have never heard of this thing, but they're spending $3 million. What the
Yo.
But bro, every single one of those, they need a host.
Yeah, bro.
They need an MC.
Yeah.
They need someone to, split things up in between like activities and like these big long speeches and presentations. When you really think of it from the practical end, like that opportunity is like right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's literally establishing and having essentially mine or, my blood's own show and then things coming off there.
Bro.
So that's the dream. That's the goal.
Like podcasting, one thing I find people do with podcasting is I think they think purely of the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Podcasting is the best CV, bro.
Yeah.
You can either send an email to somebody, I can do this, or you can send them a video.
Yeah.
And what does podcasting give you? It gives you that video, gives you that CV. So like, bro, I think you've got it all right there to do it straight away, G. Who's your agent? You don't have to say that.
I got you, brother, because you're going to buzz out. Johnson and Laird. Hey,
get the out of here.
Actually. Yeah, cuz. Oh, that's one of the quotes I found actually. It was on JNL's website.
What the
yeah, because we're in the same agency.
Damn, how do we not ever... Damn, bro, I go in there
I buzzed out as well, bro, when I saw you.
I was there yesterday and I'm going there today.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh,
bro, I can't believe that.
Yeah, bro. Shout out JNL.
Oh, gee. Yeah. I'm glad that you've... Oh, tell them you want to go hard, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Because they're unreal.
Yeah, G. So I messaged Zara.
Me.
And I was like, yeah. So that's...
Get in there, G.
Yeah, bro. Well, actually, no. Speaking of, I started off with challenge and then we ended up in there.
Yeah, my bad, bro.
I love it. No. But one of the other things I wrote down, and you mentioned it briefly, because this one stuck out to me. One of the challenges that Joe has been through in his life. In 2018, at the age of 22, I found myself homeless, living out of my car for 3 months. Whilst homeless, I started writing a series based off my experience as a young man trying to find himself in Auckland.
It's funny because the only thing I find hard with talking about it is because, often it's in the mental health space that a lot of people bring it up. And I think they frame it for me to speak about as like a really difficult time, which it was. But then there's also like a lot of like crack up experiences in there too. And to be honest, it was, if anything, it was one of the most transformative periods of my life because that came after property development. That came after like all those experiences I just spoke about. And to be honest, that was the last time I experienced sort of the transition I'm going through right now, which is moving more closer to living authentically to myself. So that whole thing was, that's what that period was for me right there.
Wow.
And I don't want to like glorify the idea of doing it because I don't want people to think like you have to go to that extreme. Yeah. I was also just an idiot and like I was a young dumb like that. Don't get me wrong, I was also that. It wasn't this big massive like transformative experience completely. I was more so an idiot, but But yeah, bro, it was like a lot of that and a lot of me just, I'd sort of found myself in a bit of a sticky situation, and that was kind of my only way out at the time. But it just really gave me the chance to figure out not only what I wanted in my life, but also come to the realization of the only things I need in it, which is for me like cool, bro.
Yeah.
So once I really figured that out, bro, it really did become such a huge benefit to my life. So yeah, bro, that's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah, bro. What I love that idea of you were writing about trying to find yourself as a young man in this world. And as I mentioned, there'll be a lot of young men, majority will be young men listening. What sort of helped you in that period?
I think I've always been a big dreamer, bro. I've always been like deeply, deeply aspirational. I've always had no shame in like really looking up to people. And that I reckon really helped me. I've always been obsessed with podcasts, bro. And I just listen to them like constantly. And that really helped me because it just gave me, and it must have been something sent down from, like a tupuna for me for this to be the thing. But that was like my North Star. That was my thing that I followed. Even in the middle of, a dark, dark ocean with no real certainty, no sight of land anywhere. I had that one thing, G, and I was sweet. Like I actually felt sweet, bro.
Yeah.
So, I really look at that as something that really helped me through that time. Just that feeling of aspiring to something and really wanting to be something. And I didn't need anything else.
Yeah.
I was like, I know exactly what I'm going for. All good. I could do this forever.
Now there's beauty in that. What do you think that we lack in, bro, as men, like as a collective? What do you think that we need to work on?
Damn, that's a good question, bro. You have an answer?
Well, something, there's that, the cliche thing of that we need to talk more and this and that, where one of my bros recently, he's an actor as well, and he said, no, we don't need to talk more, but we need to stop talking shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and like, when one of the bros, he might be trying to get a little bit deeper, and then one of the bros cracks a joke, and then he's, oh no, I better not share, or we are like so. That. I don't know. That's maybe a work on that he said that I was like, fuck.
We are definitely like that.
But yeah, apart from that, I don't know.
No, fair enough, bro. That is definitely one part. I reckon one big thing. I'm actually doing a video on it at the moment, which I'll put out. That'll be my YouTube video for this Sunday. And it's kind of, I used to do this series. Well, not used to, I still do, just in a hiatus. They used to do this YouTube series called The Boys Are Decorating. And the whole idea around that is mainly about getting men into interior design. Interior design is like a massive passion of mine.
Deeper.
I'll retire from entertainment at some point, and that'll probably be what I go into, I reckon. I love it, bro. And shout out to my auntie Helen for getting me into that from such a young age. So anyways, like with interior design for me, it was something that I always had like a general interest when I was younger, but I never ever took it seriously until I was like I would have been like 20, 21, I reckon. And bro, this is going to be a pretty long roundabout answer, so
hit me, bro.
Just stay with me, bro.
I got you. Shout out, auntie.
Shout out, auntie House. So, I think for most dudes, bro, our bedroom is kind of the last thing we think of. We don't really give a generally. Like, one of my bros runs this company called the Lade Collective, and they're a bed sheets company, and they have handles on the end of the bed sheets because dudes are so useless at changing our sheets, which is true. Me to this day, still bad. I'm useless. We put really no thought or value into our bedrooms. We don't give a but the irony in that is that it's the first thing we see when we wake up, last thing we see when we go to sleep. It's the thing that for a lot of us, actually, we spend a shitload of time in. And it's a lot of time thinking and a lot of time planning and dreaming. Those thoughts are important. that part of your life is actually the most important part of your life, but we give it the least amount of like almost value and like comfort, really. And we do that by not giving a shit about the space that we do it in. We don't care about our bedroom, which is essentially when that part of your life is so important, that's the place that's going to take care of you in that vulnerable moment. So for me, like what interior design started to represent was I had this bedroom, bro. Like I was flatting. I was flatting with 9 of my best mates, bro. Another surefire. It was a 5-bedroom house. Like if you want any sure sign dudes, do not give a about where they sleep. 9 dudes living in a 5-bedroom house. I was living in the garage too.
Wow.
Didn't give a So I'd already lived in there for a year. This was actually when I was like 19. I would have been 18 turning 19, I reckon. And bro, I had my bed, mattress, no sheet, just a duvet. And I didn't have a wardrobe or any cupboard or anything, bro. I just had my like a little black Adidas duffel bag, and that's what I did with my clothes, bro. So if I needed my clothes today, just get out of the bag, go down to the laundromat, wash them probably every month or so, chuck them back in. And that was how I lived. And then as I started to kind of like look more at my room, I'd be like, damn, this place fucking sucks. And I just went out and I bought a rug. And I was like, I don't even really know what I'm doing with this. But I'm going to try, because the floor was like, and if anything, there was like just one part of the floor that was real yuck and I wanted to cover it. So I chucked the rug down. And then with the rug, I was like, oh, it kind of looks weird just like that. I should put something on it. I go get this coffee table for like $5 from up the road. Chuck a coffee table down. Don't get me wrong, like all these pieces of furniture were shit house. But it was the first time I'd intentionally gone and got something. And then little by little, to be honest, I'm a 0 and 100 person. So this all started to happen like within a day or two of each other. I go get a chair. I go get a desk. I'm like obsessing over just like, I'm now like, no, I'm going to make this room worth being in. I finished it. And I remember sitting down and being like, damn, I don't even want to leave here. I feel so like free and alive. And I wasn't even doing anything creative. Like I hadn't started, this was probably 2-3 years before I started stand up. So it wasn't even like I was doing it for any particular reason. I just loved the feeling that it gave me. And what really clicked was, damn, this is the first time I feel like I've ever like expressed myself. And I've ever given like power to that in the real world. Yeah. Like I thought something and I actually brought it out and put it down. And that sounds so silly and small, but when you think about men and Kiwi men especially, what do we not do? Express ourselves in any way. We don't express ourselves at all. Wow, Joe. And exactly like the way you just painted, like we give each other so shit over little trivial things. Like if you wear like a buzzy pair of shoes around the boys around here, like you're going to hear it for forever. Every time you're going to come, you're not wearing those shoes. Wear those shoes, bro. Which is crack up. But then also like you think about how hard it is in even that small way to express yourself. And then you're going to go tell men to express themselves when they're at their most vulnerable. They can't even do it in the smallest way. So that's my thing is like the convo is always men need to learn how to talk. Men need to talk when they're low. And it's like, no, we don't need to learn how to talk when we're low. We need to learn how to talk at all. Wow. And so what the boys are decorating was for me, I was like, okay, dudes are practical. For a dude, you got to lay it out and you got to lay out like the breadcrumbs. And I'm not saying it in a condescending way. That's just a beautiful part of like how we operate as men. We're very practical. We need to see it. And then once we see it and understand it, we'll do it. And so that became the avenue to set out those practical steps for men to express themselves in one way. And it was me saying, all right, boys, we struggle to express ourselves around others. Well, what's one place? It's just going to be you, your bedroom. And what's a very simple thing you can go do? Go buy a rug, go buy a lamp. But it's that first like practical, intentional thing you do for yourself. And it's the first time that you could go out and be like, you know what? Nah, I like this. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. And it's all just for you. No one has to see that. So you get that chance to be vulnerable and open. And that's really like where I kind of spoke to from when it came to that. And that's kind of been my whole ethos around like speaking to men in the mental health space of like, we're too much trying to get them. It would be like the way like we talk to men in the mental health space is it would be like telling people to go and score a try for the All Blacks, but we haven't even taught them how to play rugby yet.
Oh my God.
So that's kind of the way I approach it is I want to get the boys at least the basics. Let's start simple. And then, you know, then the big stuff can come.
Wow, go back to square one.
Yeah, bro. So that's my big like philosophy on it. And it's entirely a personal opinion perspective. I'm not going to say that works for everyone. But it's just something that I kind of
but I can resonate with that a lot. And what comes to my mind, and I want to ask you a question on this, because I think about, when you're talking about that, I think about my friends, some of my friends who I know have so much potential. And I don't know if scared is the right word, or they may be fearful of something, but they choose not to express themselves where I know they could, in whatever way that may be. You mentioned before that you're a dreamer. Have you, or do you struggle with talking to some of your friends who may also not be expressive people about some of the things that you dream about, or some of your ambitions?
No, definitely, bro. And I think I don't ever want to say it so that it comes across like I'm being condescending to them, because, you know, it's not better or worse, it's just different. But personally, I do struggle with people that can't do that, because I guess that's such an innate part of me. And it's not like I can't like talk to them, but that's just a part of me that I really like and is really big for me.
Yeah.
So it's not if they can't, more so if they're closed off to it, that's when I'm like find it hard. But instead of, I guess, struggling with the, you know, disconnection in that, I guess I just try and show them the benefit of what the benefit of being like that is to me. And I guess in that way, it's really up to them, you know, what they do with that. And I guess I try and do that with all these things. I don't ever try and get people. I think in our day and age, there's a big thing. Virtue signaling is kind of like a yuck word, but it's something you hear a lot. You know, I think a lot of people have their values and their, you know, their virtues, which are all beautiful things and important to us to have for our identity. But I think people really try and push that onto others. And realistically, it ain't ever going to happen. Like, you could think something and be so sure of it. I guarantee someone thinks the opposite. Yeah. It's fucking annoying. Yeah. But it's also what makes us human. So for me, I don't ever try and, you know, like push any of those on. I speak very surely of where I sit on it, because I know that part. And then, you know, whatever anyone else wants to do. Like.
I love that so much. The art of expression, work on for men. For you, brother, what do you think you need to work on?
Damn, bro. That's such a good question. I think for me lately, it's been really actually giving like my relationships and friendships the investment that I guess I give my career aspirations per se. I guess when you've been someone like me who's been so like set on a pathway for so long, and I'm only like as I've mentioned, that transition away from that has literally been like, I mean, I was in America 2-3 months ago. So I'm 2-3 months from directing myself away from that.
Yeah, wow.
So my new work on is really trying to spend time with my friends, but actually be like really mindful and really present. I'm real bad at being present. You know, for me, that comes from a place of, I always just thought, bro, truly, I always just thought people didn't give a about if I was at stuff or not. I would always have this thought of, oh, they're not going to care if I'm not there, so I'm not even going to bother. And it wasn't because I felt like I was too good at it. Genuinely felt like I just didn't think people ever thought of me in that way.
Yeah.
So I've had to build a better relationship with myself in order to then be like, no, like you should be there. People want you there. And because of that, now that I have that confidence or now that I'm building that confidence, it's now making me realize like, okay, well then, because they want you there, like they deserve your presence. They deserve, and not your presence physically, your presence like mentally.
Absolutely.
They deserve you being there and not like looking at your phone and not like worrying about like the next thing you have to go do.
They want
just,
you.
Yeah, just like actually hanging there and just like relaxing and like just being with like in there with them. And that was something that I really, really had to learn. And it's hard, I guess, in my space because you do have so many transactional relationships. You do. It's just
the nature of the
it's just the nature of the game.
It is, bro.
But that's such a hard thing to switch off of.
Yeah.
And you fall into this mindset where you're like, well, I can't do anything for them. So like, they probably don't even, all I can really do is sit there and talk, but they don't want to hear what I have to say.
Yeah.
So once I started to realize that was a real detriment to my life and started to have wanted to make a change on that, that's been something I've been actively working on and still, bro. So if I would say, to answer your question, that's the thing that I need to work on, am trying to work on, growing day by day. Not great, but hoping one day just a little bit better.
Yeah, Ozzy. I actually wanted to ask if you have or if you do struggle with, like, could be friends, could be anyone, like people taking you seriously, like with your job or what you've done. You know, your job is to make people laugh, but you know, at the end of the day, you mentioned just then we're all human too. So have you or do you struggle with that?
I feel like I'm in a weird spot with it, because but I think something I've always really struggled with, it is something like that, but I can't really describe it straight off the bat. To be honest, bro, this is shit. I don't even know how much time you have for this. I just thought of something I haven't really spoken about before, bro. And just trying to think of the best way to. And stand up, I can't really think of a better way to say this, but people in stand up in New Zealand like do not with me. And haven't for a long time. And I'm only really coming around to a space where I feel like that's sort of being mended. Which is why I almost feel bad like bringing it up. But then, you know, I think it's an important part of a lot of this. So yeah, for ages I just, you know, I think I was very I would say very disconnected from the stand-up scene in New Zealand. Have been for a long time. For a myriad of reasons, and I could go all day about like my personal issues with the scene, and then also like my own mistakes and hang-ups. But I think one thing, sorry, this is answering your question. I think one thing that I didn't realize until you asked that was, I think one thing that I really got stuck up on was that the stand-up scene didn't take me seriously, and not serious. Like, I guess serious in the way that I was someone that deserved to sort of be there. And I think it almost was a detriment to my career because of my attitude in that. Like, yes, I think there were certain things in the scene that made me feel a certain way, but then I think my constant like resistance and pushback from that also caused just as many problems for me within it too. And I started reading this book about called like the art of like not being lonely, or it's something along those lines. It's a good way to quote a book, is to not know what it's called. But one of the big things it talks about is it talked about this whole idea of that if you're somebody that has, you know, that you've felt disempowered, one way we often try to lie to ourselves about having the feeling of empowerment is resistance, as resisting things, as being the one that doesn't do the thing.
Wow.
But in a way that is still disempowerment, because you're only reacting to things. You're not acting for yourself. And it took me so long to realize that was my relationship, like with stand-up in New Zealand. I think because when I was younger, to be honest, I think a lot of people in the scene would agree, it rejected me a lot. And I'm not just saying in the ways that it rejects a lot of comedians. I think like I got a lot of shit from stand-ups when I was younger. And still do, but back then, like a lot. And as somebody I felt like I was really well-intentioned coming into the scene. And as brown people are really respectful. And I felt like I just got like a lot of pushback and a lot of like disrespect that I didn't feel like I deserved. Yeah. But then because of that, it kind of built up this resentment and this attitude that was actually even more detrimental to me because all my actions just became, them, like, they're going to see this. Reactive. Yeah, they're going to see this and this. And bro, that's no way to live, man. Like you're not living for yourself then, but you're lying to yourself thinking that you are.
Oh my God.
So for me, there was, to answer your question, like, bro, I think without even realizing, I think I did have a struggle with people not taking me seriously. And I think I really took that personally. And I think it took me having to destroy my own ego and destroy also my own expectations about where I'm supposed to be for me to be able to look at that and be like, nah, there's also just as many things I did wrong in that. And there's just as many things that I also didn't give them the chance to understand about myself.
Wow.
That let's just dap it up. We'll call it even and just move forward. And so that's kind of like my relationship with it now.
Wow, bro. Yeah. Looking at it from a totally different lens. I like that. Well, that obviously shows personal growth in you too, bro, to be able to do that.
Appreciate it, bro.
Do you feel like you've left, since you've had that conversation with your partner, you feel like you've left on a clean slate then? Like that idea of freedom, that idea of dapping it up with, I'm done and it's komotu in I guess with a bit of peace in mind and you don't have to, you're not thinking like, man, should I go back and do this or do that? Is it in the best of ways?
It's kind of like when you grow up with someone, you guys split off at some point and actually, don't like each other because you're going in two very different directions in life. But then you come back and it's not even like you rekindle. You're almost learning how to be two different people because you are different people at this point. And it's allowing that reset to be the sign for you to just move forward as whatever this new version of your relationship is. You'll always have the old one, sure, but, it's acknowledging who each other are in the moment now and then giving that a chance to be whatever it is. And that's kind of like where I'm at in my life now with everything, I guess. And stand-up and the stand-up scene for sure is a big part of that. And then also just like heaps of people in my life, just really letting go of a lot of that, realizing how much it held me back in my life and just seeing whatever this new version of it is. And it's so sick because it's almost like starting again. You know?
My God.
Yeah. I gigged the other night. I hadn't gigged at the Classic, which is like New Zealand's main comedy club. For a long time, it was New Zealand's only one. And it's its only full-time one, I believe, still. But I hadn't gigged in there in years, bro. And I did my first one there like the other night.
Yeah.
So it kind of felt like a version of that,
Well, what about outside of mahi, brother? What's, outside the comedy, the content, the cameras, what's sort of like fills your cup? You can use a word, the happiness word, whatever, but like bro, put it like this. What do you do to other people through providing smiles and laughs? What or who does that for you?
Bro, what's been mean for me lately has been hanging with my parents. So like I don't think they'll mind me saying this, but me and my parents through my life like haven't been super close. We traveled a lot when I was younger, and then I went to boarding school at like 13. And even before then, we weren't like super, super close. My parents worked a lot. They're very hardworking. To the point where like I didn't see my dad a lot when I was growing up. I think he'd be embarrassed of me saying that, but I also don't think he'd, disagree. So to then have that sort of relationship and then you go to boarding school, you're not really as close to your parents, I guess, as whatever the traditional idea of a parent-kid relationship is. So I wasn't super close to my parents growing up, to be honest. But bro, with part of this journey, I guess, especially this last year, I decided, that I just really wanted to try and do exactly what I said, let go a lot of the past stuff, meet with my parents now and acknowledge who we are in the now, and then let that be what drives us forward. And it's been mean, bro. Like I go down, they live in this studio apartment, and fuck, I sleep on the couch. We all pretty much sleep in the same room. So like this tiny ass apartment, bro. Me and my partner have gone down. It was hell. It was mean. And when I go there, bro, like I just hang out. Like I feel like it's weird. I feel like a kid because, they just kind of let me do my thing. But we go out to dinner. Like we'll go out to shows. Like me and my dad went to the movies together. Yeah, wow. The last time I was there. We just do heaps of that kind of shit, bro. And we hadn't really done any of that stuff for like a long, long time. So that's been something that I've been really proud of, like having achieved this year, to be honest, is getting that relationship with my parents and spending that time with them.
Yeah.
And it's funny now, we definitely feel more like just three adults like hanging out.
Yeah.
But then that's like mean,
Yeah, bro. More like mates.
Yeah, more like mates.
Yeah,
bro.
because.
And that's like I'm so grateful to be able to have that with them, and I can't thank them enough for also doing the work on their side to be able to build that relationship with me. Like it's definitely not just a me thing. Like they've done just as much, if not more, on their side to get to that point. So that's been mean, bro. And to be honest, just really wanting to like delve into that in my life is something I want to keep doing.
Cool, brother.
Yeah, it's been crack up, bro. But yeah, I think people get so shocked when they see me in wellies. They're like, what have you been doing down here? I'm like, fuck, just hang with my parents.
Yeah.
I sound like such a loser, bro.
What did you do last night? I went to the movies with my dad.
Yeah, look, bro, literally. I've had that. I remember one dude bumped into me and he's like, bro, what are you up to? Oh, no, just going to meet up with my dad, go to the movies. He was like, what? Oh, yeah, cousin. But yeah, bro, it's been mean, and my like dream is like I can't wait to have that relationship with my kids. I feel like that'll be so cool, and regardless of how long it took to get there, I couldn't be more grateful. Like I got there,
Yeah.
Like I'm there. Like I have that with them.
Yeah. Wow.
And even though I'm damn near, like it took like I'm almost 30. It took almost 30 years to get there. Like some people don't ever get it. Some people don't even get the chance to even think about having that. So, bro, like, I'm so grateful for that shit.
Oh, that's cool, brother. We have a closing tradition on this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Where the previous guest leaves a question.
Oh.
For the next guest, not knowing who he or she is.
That's a great tradition, bro.
Yeah.
Dang.
Do you know who I got it off? Oh, actually, you asked me a question before of like, Zach, who's that guy that you mentioned David Goggins. The guy that came to my mind first would be Stephen Bartlett. He runs the Diary of the CEO.
He's the man.
He's the first guy that
I didn't realize, bro, he's young too.
He is, bro.
He's like early 30s.
Yeah, 30, 31.
Only because of how he talks.
Yeah.
I thought he's like 40s.
Very articulate, he's very knowledgeable.
Bro. Rich too, he's correct.
Yeah. Yeah, bro.
He's fucking correct.
You know what's crazy? You know this thing that I'm doing now?
Yeah.
He does that.
Yeah. Shout out Stevie B,
Shout out Stephen Bartlett, bro. Hope you're going to be on the Martin Show one day, I'll tell you that.
Bro, I fully see that, bro. Wow.
The question for you today, bro. What's the one thing you want to ask your parents about your relationship with them that you haven't already?
No way, is that the question?
Yeah, brother, that's crazy. We were just touching on this. Wow. That's a universe moment too, my bro.
Straight up, G.
Yeah.
My missus taught me about it. It's like, they call it universe alignment. So it's like, if something happens perfectly, it means you're meant to be there.
Wow.
That's that, bro.
That is that, cuz.
Dang.
Oh.
I'm going to go buy a lotto ticket.
Wow.
Okay. I would love to ask how do me and my siblings make you guys feel? Like, I think our parents will always tell us like, this is what we think of you. But I don't know if this universal or not, but you never really know like how your parents feel like about anything really. And I would love to know what they feel about how me and my brothers and my sister make them feel. Like when we walk in, what do you guys feel? When we go, like, what do you guys feel? And not even from a me knowing that perspective, it's from so that I even know what effect I have on them. Because I think parents, they gatekeep that from you because that's such a, I think that's such a parental thing to do. But then there's a point in your life, and I'm at that point where, you become more adults living in each other's lives more so as opposed to their life being, looking after you. Where you kind of, you need to know that, like you need to know that with anyone so that you know, okay, I know this is beneficial to you. I know this is detrimental. Tell me how to live with you. Wow. Tell me how to be with you. Yeah. Because I think through raising us, they forget that there's actually a human connection in this. They do so much of protecting us and looking after us that they forget about that part. And then by the time you're older, they actually don't know how that would even work.
Yeah, wow.
So honestly, probably that, bro. And I think that's something that I've been trying to figure out with them, especially my dad. I ask him a lot of, bro, like, what do you actually think? And he'll give me like a shitty answer. I'm like, cuz, like, actually, what are your actual thoughts on this? And I think he gets shocked by it because he forgets that, this is a two-way thing, bro. It's not a one-way mirror where you're just looking at me. Like, I can see you. So like, tell me. Oh my God. So yeah, bro, that's probably what I would ask them. Yeah.
Joe Daymond, ladies and gentlemen. My bro. Cuzzy, you're the man, bro.
You're the man.
Wow. We're, any final words?
But I really love this convo, for real. Yeah. And I'm so lucky I get to do so many of these. And sometimes none are good or bad. Some are just different. Sometimes I feel like feeling a bit like tired or a bit drained and it kind of just like adds onto your day. This one, bro, I genuinely feel like real energized. I love your energy, bro. And I love being around people like you because whenever I'm around people like you, I find I then go out and like do something mean or like I feel like I get realigned with my goals or like what I want to do. I love being around people like that, bro.
Oh my God.
So thank you so much for having me.
Wow, brother. No, thank you. You're just giving me, that's the mission right there, bro. Hopefully everyone else feels exactly like that from this cordial. Where can people find you, brother? Even though they've probably already found you somewhere.
No, you just find me at Joe.Daymond on Instagram, TikTok. Joe Daymond, my name is just, it's different versions of that on everything. So yeah, find me there, man.
My bro, go support the bro as well on his YouTube, man. Crazy. Only like about 6 weeks in, he's going to blow it up.
Appreciate you, bro.
Team, that concludes another episode of The Martin Show. We will be back next week. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button. Give The Martin Show a follow, _The Martin Show. We'll get a link up there. We'll drop Joe's as well, and we'll be back next week. Kia ora, team. Thank you.